Good morning. Hope you're all well this morning. It's the 18th of January. Oh, hold on, we're going in a different direction. Anybody new to this podcast will know that I walk with my very stubborn rescue dog. And sometimes she decides that she wants to go a different way. So I apologise if I do make you dizzy. So I think we're having a quick wee. Not that you needed to know that. Anyway, yes, good morning. It is, as I said, 18th of January, day 18 of not drinking. But I will confess that, yesterday after posting and listening to podcasts, I did have a little bit of a fall, but I had a mouthful of wine, and I didn't like it. And so I spat it out. What has happened to me? I've obviously retrained my taste buds. But yeah, so cool. So so yesterday was a bit full on. I do apologise if that was your first time listening to me. Embarrassed myself a little bit by crying. And I think that's some people have asked me why I've not put my name up. It's not for any reason, purely because it's just I don't know, if it feels a bit easier telling my story without being a person. If that makes sense. But also I'm a little bit embarrassed about my upbringing. People tell me that I shouldn't be, that I should be proud, and some of them can't believe I'm still alive. And others can't believe how actually stable I am. Well, we're going this way. She's in that mood. I think she wants to get into the sunshine. I don't blame her. But yeah, I think I'm fairly stable. As stable as society will let me be. Let's put it that way. But but I am still embarrassed. Ashamed a little bit, because everybody else had around me what seemed to be the idyllic childhood. But they do say you don't know what happens behind closed doors, and that was definitely the case of me. I think from the outside, Mum always made sure that we were looking clean and tidy, and she wanted respect a lot of the time, well, most of the time, and acknowledgement. I think also that, she was a single mum, a coloured single mum living on an estate which was full of families. There was only one other single mum living on the estate at the time, and she was an amazing lady and was a great friend, and her daughter became, and still is, one of my oldest and greatest friends. And oh goodness me, doggy, she's tangled me up. Hold on, we're going to do it for 360. And it's weird, isn't it, how you see other people's lives as better than your own. And I'm sure, and I know that my story is one of many. And there are many people out there that are of worse states and than mine. Oh, look at those little horses. Good morning, horses. Get steam coming off them. Hello, how are you? Aren't they sweet? Sorry, another bit of randomness. But yes, so yesterday I left you with us being spat on, kicked, punched and called names. It's my first day of school. Oh, and tied up on the netball post by kids. And mum I think came a couple of times actually, and it wasn't just the one off, it happened every time. So I think she thought that we would be better off not being associated with her by walking to school with her. But we were very young children to be walking there and back to school. And don't forget, obviously the winter, it was dark, but everybody used to walk home together, everybody used to walk to school together. So although I was part of a little campaign of bullying. There was always somebody around, and I do remember a few times where there wasn't, but again, that's for another podcast episode. And but actually, school for me weirdly became a better place than home. Oh, hold on, you're trying to trip me over. That's very contradictory, isn't it? It was a better place to be than at home. I felt safer at school than I did at home. So I used to spend as much time as I could at school, doing after school activities and stuff like that. And also there was food. There wasn't much food. Well, there's no money coming in, so what we had was quite basic, with the odd occasional treat. And I don't actually remember Mum being a good cook, and I say good cook because she used to make dinners out of basically nothing, whatever was around, and what we grew in the garden. But I actually don't remember meals. I do remember boiling a bad curry for some reason. I'm sure that was a treat. And I remember roast. And I think that's probably about it for some reason. Yes, food was quite scarce. We being at school, obviously we had free meals. Or packed lunches. I hated packed lunches because obviously it was the cheapest form. So either boiled egg sandwiches, which stank on the buses when we were doing away trips, and obviously smelt of farties. So again, being the less popular girl at school, I became even the most popular girl at school, and obviously a target for those bullies. And paste sandwiches, meat paste sandwiches, crab paste sandwiches. I don't know whether you guys remember those. They still make those paste sandwiches, and I can't remember the last time I had one. Maybe I should go back and have a taste, see if it's how I remember. So yes, you spend most of my time at school. Go back to primary school. The teachers did take me under their wing. I think they were very worried. I know bullying now is, the norm. That's awful, isn't it? The norm. Come on, sweetie, we're going this way. Come on. Not wanting to go my way. But it was the norm. And now, that's awful. But back then, it was quite rare to see people bullied. But the teachers kept me in their eyesight, which I was always grateful, and I was always told to go and see them if I was worried. So they always made sure that I was in eyesight, and that gave me great comfort. And I just think they looked out for me. So they made sure I was included, and always at the front of a queue. They never let me stay at the back of a queue, which sometimes actually went against me. But I did enjoy school. I enjoyed learning and projects and school dinners. I think I'm probably the only one in the whole world that enjoyed school dinners. And clothes wise, we always sort of stood out a little bit because we didn't have the latest fashion, but Mum always tried her best. We had a discount place that you could go to, which always worked in Mum's favour. She was a very thrifty shopper, was Mum, and so she did do her best to keep us clothed, and we relied on second-hand shops as well, which again, as you can imagine, turning up to school and places or out, we were wearing somebody else's clothes which again we used to get taunted about, but it is what it is, and we were very lucky to have had the clothes that we had. I know there's so many more people out there that are worse off. From school, then we went, then I obviously had to go up to big school, and there's lots of walking in my journey with school. So going back a bit, we walked a good mile to school and a good mile back from school. Going to lunch was off site, so we had to walk up the road to lunch and walk back. And then activities and everything, we used to walk there and walk back, so there was no public transport for us kids. So no wonder I'm a shorty now. I probably was about 6'3", or would have been. Wore my legs out. I remember doing the 11 plus at school, at primary school, and that was to get into the local school in our village. If not, then we would have to go somewhere else. It was huge pressure. I don't actually know whether I passed or not. I got a feeling I didn't pass, because again, attention span was horrific. I've now found out that actually I do have ADHD. No surprise if you've been listening from the beginning. With my randomness, it took 14 tests for me to acknowledge that actually I do have it, but there you go. What happened was a stroke of luck during the summer. So when all the tests had been done and they were waiting for the results, is that the school then changed from a grammar school over to a comprehensive school. I think the government had involvement there, so I automatically got in anyway. So again, I can't remember where I passed or not, but likelihood is I didn't pass. So I went to big school, and that was quite handy because that was actually up the road from where we lived. So it was literally on the same estate where we lived, so that was very handy. But the fights continued, and because the people from the primary school came to the big school, so nothing changed. We just got older and not wiser. But fond memories going back actually of primary school. So it used to be an ice cream factory. Being in a little coastal town, little coastal village, we had there was an ice cream factory on our way to and from school. So in the summer and the winter, we used to bang on the back door, and the door would open and they would give us their seconds. So lollies. My favourite was the banana lolly, and I actually was so eager to have this lolly that I stuck it straight in my mouth, and it froze to my tongue, and I took the skin off my lip and my tongue, and that was horrific. That was really bad. That was great. A great memory from childhood. So it was not all bad. Big school came, and to make matters worse, Mum, bless her, got her job actually at the school as a cleaner, and then became popular with all the other kids, and because she used to give them cigarettes, and so that I think she, trying to make friends, but unfortunately nobody would believe me that Mum was that person at home. I tried reaching out quite a few times to people regarding what was happening at home, but I wasn't getting believed, because Mum was this fun, gregarious, happy, hippie, beautiful lady who gave them cigarettes when they weren't supposed to. So she was the most popular person. Oh, so we're just going past a little digger that's got no man on it. I think it's a motor actually by the look of it. Ooh, what is that, baby dog? So I really don't have much. I'm trying not to get too emotional in this podcast today. I think I need a day's rest of my emotions. So I'm trying to talk about everything but nothing. So do excuse me. I might need to start it again. Or not. No, I'm not. I'm trying not to start these again. I did do one a couple of days ago and I started crying right at the beginning. It's ridiculous. School for me was my saviour. So I used to roll in all lessons after school, during break times, just to get me away from people and learn. I do have a thirst for learning. I'm not very good at it. But even nowadays, if I come across something and I don't know about it, I'll research it. My God, the internet now. Back in the day, if I had that back in the day, I would have been a genius. I wouldn't have been, but I probably wouldn't have been in the situations that I was in. I would have learnt a lot more than I did. But I know the internet has its downfalls, but trust me, when you're living in a sleepy seaside town, trapped, and you don't know any better, you tend to think that this is the norm. So rather than correcting it and getting out, you put up with it. If I could have a conversation with my younger self now, it would definitely be talk to somebody, because this is not right. I feel that if the teachers half knew what was going on at home, then I definitely would have been extracted earlier. And my mum would have been saved. My mum would have got the right help, the right medication, and been able to be the mum that I know that she desperately wanted to be. I know that her frustration and her anger was a lot to do with things that she couldn't do and couldn't cope. So she would have had a lot more support had we had help. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you there. Sorry, it's not really a juicy one today. I'm going to take some more rest and then post again. I'll do another one tomorrow. As I said, I'm trying to do one every day, but forgive me if I don't put one up. It's probably because I'm really under pressure with work. I don't know whether you can see, there's a deer walking right across. How beautiful that. I think that's a baby deer, just by those trees there. Sorry, a bit more randomness. I'll post as many times as I can. Some days emotionally I just can't do it. I'm going to try and put a bit more structure into them as well. I do have paperwork that I'm going to read out to you, and cards that Mum had sent me that were not so nice. But yes. Oh, that poor deer is trapped. I think it's trying to find. Can you see him right on the far end? I think he's trying to find a way out. Bless him. We all know that feeling, don't we, about being trapped. But there is a way out, little dear. There is a way out. And again, for you guys that feel that there's no way out, there definitely is. And talk to somebody. The Samaritan's number is in this bio here. I don't know if it's a bio or in my notes. Please contact somebody. Never be on your own. Anyway, guys, I'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.